This segment is brought to you by Preszler Law Firm, helping accident victims since 1959.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Liza Fromer. You're watching the morning show here on Global, looking for a high of 7 later today. Well, it may not feel like it, particularly today, but spring is here, and that means many people will be spending more time outdoors. Maybe you're hosting a garage sale, backyard parties, just hanging out with the kids out the front of your house. But don't go planning that yard sale just yet. Personal injury lawyer Jeff Preszler is here to tell us why being unprepared could cost you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, winter takes its toll. Like, a lot of stuff can start to get damaged. So what should a homeowner be looking for?
Well, I think we'd all agree that this year was particularly a brutal winter. And now that the snow has left us, we have an opportunity to actually inspect our property and take a look at the property to see whether there are any hazards on the property. Now, we lawyers would consider hazards to be potholes, large cracks in the ground, even uneven ground. If some people have interlocking brick or stone, raised stone. There's also the city valves that most of us have on our driveways that can pop up. Now, all these things represent trip hazards, and those are things when you're inviting people or if you plan on hosting an event, you have to be concerned about. And
even if it's something as simple as a yard sale, if someone walks onto your yard and trips and injures themselves,
yes,
that's on you.
100%. The law in Ontario, as it currently stands, states that if you invite people onto your property, or even if you host an activity on your property, you're legally obligated to make sure that your property is reasonably safe. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to be absolutely perfect, but things that are considered dangerous or hazardous, you do have to take positive steps to rectify those deficiencies.
What can you do in the interim? So if I've identified a problem, and I know it's going to get fixed, but it's not going to get fixed for 4 weeks, let's say, for some reason, and I'm having people over, I'm doing whatever. Can I mitigate my risk?
You sure can, and that's a great question, and we hear it regularly. Because for some people, it's not always practical to repave their entire driveway or to repair that entire flight of stairs. So if you have a broken step, or if there's a chip or a raised piece of interlocking stone, you can go to one of your local hardware stores, purchase a bottle of fluorescent paint and spray it so that you at least alert members of the public of the presence of that hazard, because that's really where liability can be imputed onto you, and that's where people are unaware of the hazard, or it's not something that you'd ordinarily expect if a party was to keep their property reasonably safe.
Right. What does happen? What would you be going through if someone does get injured on your property? Like, do you typically end up in court? Can you avoid going to court?
Well, most people have, especially if you're the homeowner or even a renter, you have liability insurance. So most people would simply report it to their insurance company, and then the insurance company would appoint lawyers and deal with the matter if it ever got to a lawsuit stage.
Gonna go home and do the walk around, Jeff.
You should. You should.
Now it's time to take a look. Jeff Preszler of Preszler Law, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions on personal injury for Jeff and his team at Preszler Law, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/morningshowto. We'll be right back.